solar future.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to our product launch next step. We want to introduce a new product to you today. My name is Gerhard Rimpler. I'm the managing director and shareholder of the company. And I also want to introduce Alice to you. Alice, hey, nice to see you.
Hello and welcome to everybody. My name is Alice Kramolišová and I'm responsible for international market at its development. And yes, since last time that we introduced our new product, AC-LVA2, 1.5 years ago, a lot of things happened. We go through big challenges because the solar market had a huge request, but yeah, we increased our warehouse about 230 meters, the production 3 times, and the production capacity 20 times. And we can really be proud of it because we introduced also automatization, new robots, and now we are able to deliver from stock.
Yeah, and that's a perfect timing for introducing a new product, which is very important for the international markets, and also very important as it is an autonomous product. So we are talking about independency, and that was something which was very obvious within the last years, that people are striving for independence. They were facing changing energy prices, increasing energy prices. The whole industry at the moment, the whole PV industry at the moment is a little bit in a, let's say, a transitional period where the markets are somehow unclear of where it should go. And this is a perfect timing for introducing a new product, helping you to be autonomous. And that's the thing that you will hear and see in the next minutes.
Yes, today's people want to be even more and more independent. So the topic of today's afternoon is self-sufficiency.
Your photovoltaic system can deliver much more than just electricity. Use solar energy for space heating, water heating, and e-mobility. Energy supply does not have to be environmentally harmful and expensive. There are innovative alternatives that save cost and protect the environment. The most efficient source of energy can be seen in the sky every day. Solar energy is available in abundance. The only thing we need to do is to make use of it. In fact, the sun is sending more energy to the Earth every day than the entire world needs within the whole year. To lead by example, we built our new company building in Neuzeug, Austria, based on our vision of solar electric energy supply. What does that mean? We apply our own products to utilize available solar power for hot water and space heating. Our technology is particularly suitable for applications in modern single-family houses and apartment buildings. This way, our customers reduce investment and operating costs. For our customers, distributors, and installers, we give our best every day. We develop and produce our products in Austria according to the highest quality standards and send them all over the world. Our vision is to contribute to an ecological, better world where everyone has access to clean and renewable energy. We are working towards a solar future for now and for the generations to come.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining and welcome to MyPV's Unveil event of the next step. Today we are going to present a brand new photovoltaic power solution. My name is Reinhard Hofstetter and I'm very much looking forward to this exciting event with you. But there are not only great news for you today, we also have the chance for you to ask questions on our today's topic anytime in the chat. And we are collecting these questions and we are answering them all at once after the presentation. So we ask for a little patience when you're entering the question. Gerhard and Alice, you have now taken a seat next to me. A warm welcome also to both of you. Gerd, for you as the managing director and Alice for you as the head of our international sales department, it's probably an exciting day, I guess. Tell us, how do you feel? How are you today?
Yes, thank you. So it's really exciting to be here, and as maybe you know, I'm sure that I arrived in MyPV in January this year, and I'm really happy that I can work in this company where the people not only doing their job for job, but their work for their patient. And it's exciting for me to have possibility to introduce this new product, which is a result of three-year works. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's not the first experience, of course, of displaying or showing a new product. You probably can remember that 1.5 years ago we have introduced AC Alva 2 in a similar manner, in the same setup as we do here. In my lifetime in the PV industry for roughly 30 years now, I think it's a double-digit number of products which I have been developing and releasing in these days, and so it's still very exciting to have such an event. So it doesn't take place too often. It's a countable number of times in lifetime.
So a memorable day also for you, Gerd.
Definitely.
Okay. At the beginning of our live broadcast, you talked about the last 2 years, which I think we can explain it in a way, have been quite challenging due to the huge demand or the need for MyPV products on the market. At the beginning of our presentation today, I also want to take a look into the past, but with a much longer time horizon. I want to start with a topic that actually began more than a decade ago. And Gerhard, when you take a closer look on this picture here, I bet there are probably some memories that come to your mind. The title of this picture is The Revolution in Solar Thermal Energy. Can you tell us what's coming to your mind when you see this picture?
Yeah, we had these funny ducks at that time. One looking in the opposite direction because we did something which was pretty unusual at that time. I would say trying to use PV, solar power, electric power for hot water in difference to that what's usual at that time, which is solar thermal power, which directly converts sunlight through solar collectors into hot water or into heat. And we did differently with electricity. We called it, we have hot water from PV panels. We were also asked whether we do some kind of this hybrid panels, you know, delivering both heat and electricity from one unit. But at that time it was a kind of really revolutionary idea because PV power was considered to be way too expensive and too valuable to use it for something, let's say, of limited value like hot water.
Mm-hmm. Have you been taken serious by the people?
Not really, no, not really.
Okay.
I was renowned in the industry for many years also at that time, and I was really asked how stupid I am to come up with such a crazy idea of using this high valuable PV power for hot water. But what we had in mind at that time, or we could anticipate early, I would say, that PV energy will become very, very low cost, and in some extent, and that's what's happening right now, and that's why this product launch is perfect from the timing point of view, that you can simply not make use of this excessive power, except of using it for things like hot water.
Mm-hmm. And now we are sitting here, so obviously this groundbreaking idea was really something revolutionary. And,
it took quite a bit of time to take off, to be honest.
So it was definitely a solution that was ahead of its time?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And from our point of view, at least nowadays, it was better than the other way around.
Okay, so 10 years ago, you have been the mastermind of this groundbreaking idea, and now I would say the honor is yours. Please reveal the secret for us and lift the cover of the next step that we are going to introduce today.
Yeah, it's probably an honor for myself, but it's of course a lot of people are behind this projects now. We are not as small as we were a decade ago. There's a large development team behind such a product. It's way more complex, to be honest, than that what we did at former times. It has much more features. We will see, and yeah, it's an honor to lift the curtain, I would say.
Okay.
And yeah, let's show it to the public.
Okay. So that's the next step from MyPV. Alice, question comes, what kind of device is this?
Yes, so this is our DC power manager, and it's called THOR. And practically it's used 100% solar energy for direct solar electric heating.
So it's for solar electric heating. Question comes, if it's a PV inverter, maybe it reminds someone of a PV inverter because there are multi-contact plugs on the bottom. Gerd, it's not a PV inverter.
It's not a PV inverter. It's technically it's similar, I would say. There's, for example, there is MPP tracking built in, but it's not a PV inverter. Okay. It's not intended to be connected to the grid for feed-in, and it's not intended to be a standalone inverter for powering drilling machine or whatever.
So we need to distinguish clearly at this point. It's a PV power manager for resistive loads, for ohmic loads actually.
That's the exact description.
Electric Perfect. Loads like immersion heaters or other ohmic loads.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, good. There are a number of technical specifications that we are going to present right now. And when we take a look on the slide here, we see there are 4 main specifications, and we start with the first one, and as we already described, it's a DC solution. So THOR is directly connected to the panels, and actually with a product that is still in our portfolio, but for more than 10 years already, the name is ELVA. We already have a DC power solution actually in the program, but it also includes an immersion heater. Now we came up with another DC power solution, but without the immersion heater. Gerd, what is the reason for this?
Yeah, the obvious reason is that it's much more versatile because it doesn't come with a heating element, so it can be connected to either whatever electric heater or so on, or even for room heating mats, for example, floor heating, electric floor heating. So you could connect different kinds of resistive loads that create you the heat then.
But in general, we are talking about immersion heaters that are linearly power controlled then.
Either immersion heaters or electric heaters, which are well known, where the heating element is already built in.
So the standard electric boilers.
Yeah,
okay.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay, Alice, now we are much more versatile than with the ELVA. What does this mean for your international sales activities? Market potentials? Question mark?
Yeah, of course. With this new product, okay, we have the door opens to all countries, and THOR will solve or is a solution for a lot of people, okay, who are also asked for it, and I'm quite happy that really with THOR we can approach the international market.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a kind of Independence Day today, I would say, because it's a product dedicated for applications where you either have no grid, or you don't have the ability to access to grid with PV, or you have limitations, or your inverter has to be, if you build an inverter system, should regulate down that there is no injection allowance. So this solves a lot of problems in markets where PV is not as common as here. And additionally, it solves the problems in the very, let's say, mature PV markets where we see all these limitations with negative feed-in tariffs or whatever. Yeah.
Okay, but it's basically an off-grid system, right? It's independent from the power grid. All right. It's a power manager. What we have not mentioned yet is its power range. And this is the next point on this slide. The power range can be controlled linearly from 0, and we mean really 0, up to 3.6 kilowatt. When we see the European market and we look on immersion heaters, Alice, we hardly never see a nominal power of 3.6 kilowatts. Is there an international reason for creating a power stage with such a huge amount of power?
Yes, of course. It's not only the request from the market, because, as you know, we cannot find this kind of heater in European market. But the main reason behind was the Australian market, where the voltage is different, and our new THOR it's perfectly suitable for Australian market.
So in the down under power grid, we have 240 volts in the AC grid. And in that combination, it's possible to scale the power output up to 3.6 kilowatts.
Exactly.
There are common elements there.
Common elements in Australia, okay. But when we come back to the European market, question comes, can we, technically, can we combine it with a standard immersion heater, let's say 2 kilowatt, 3 kilowatt immersion heater, when there is a thermostat on the heater? Can I connect this third-party heater to the Solta?
Exactly, that's the idea behind. So this 3.6 kilowatt is the maximum allowed load power that can be connected, but of course you can connect less. So if you use a standard 3 kilowatt element, or if you have electric boiler, they often are rated 2.4, 2.5 kilowatts. Also possible. Of course, you wouldn't get more than the nominal power of the heating element that is connected, but the product doesn't care.
Here there were two very interesting points in your answer. Number one, standard 3 kilowatt immersion heaters. This reminds me of an accessory part from IPV, which is the immersion heater 3 kilowatts, as the name really is, which is actually designed for the THOR. But question comes, can I disconnect the European mains plug on the immersion heater and connect it to the terminal blocks of Solta?
Exactly. Yeah.
And the installer is allowed to do so. He is allowed to cut off the European mains plug. That's great. Okay.
Or wiring differently, disconnect the cord and wire it fixed. No problem.
So the MyPV accessory part can from now on be used with two MyPV products, with the THOR 9S actually, so 3 products, and the Solta as well in the future.
Yeah. One amendment here, it's a single phase product, so you can connect single phase heating elements.
With thermostats.
With thermostats, from security or safety requirement, it's mandatory that you need a safety over temperature protection on the element. This should be provided from the connected heating element. And with a normal thermostat also. So normally there are two disconnection mechanisms to provide safety.
The other very interesting point in your recent answer, you mentioned it already 2 times, was about the standard electric boiler. It reminds me of those electric boilers that I find in a do-it-yourself market, for example, that are used in apartment buildings and in flats. So practically I can use one of those, and I do not need a new immersion heater actually. I do not need an immersion heater at all because the heating element is already included.
It comes with the boiler, exactly, yeah.
Okay, then the whole MyPV installation is only on the electrical side, which makes also retrofitting of such boilers very easy, right?
Retrofitting is possible, and the wiring is fairly easy. We will come to this solar panel side anyway, but you have the DC side to the THOR, and then you have a kind of AC output where you can use standard AC wiring to the boiler or heating element or whatever is connected, as long as it's resistive.
Okay. I have another question. It's a theoretical one. When I remind myself about physics in elementary school, I have learned that I can connect a voltage source, a power source, directly to a resistive heating element. Yeah. And physics dictates that this is possible practically. Yeah. Why do we need the Solta in between then? Yeah,
so converting electricity into heat is not rocket science. But the problem if you do this, as you mentioned, are two. One is, let's say, the optimization is missing because you do not have a perfect match between the solar panel and the heating element. So the solar panel power, output power, of course, varies with the amount of sunlight that you apply to the solar panel, and the heating element, let's say, accepts a standard voltage, so it doesn't simply match well. So this would theoretically work, but it wouldn't work optimal. But the real point is, and this is a safety point, you would start disconnecting DC with a thermostat of the element. And the thermostat is definitely not built for disconnecting DC. So you would even burn down the thermostat. You have hazards of electric shock or even burn. Okay. So I would really recommend or strongly recommend not doing this. Don't disconnect DC with standard AC equipment.
So reasons to use the THOR for such applications is number one, power adjustment, you mentioned it. Now you mentioned safety. What about MPP tracking?
Yeah, that's exactly the thing why it matches the output power of the heating of the solar panel to the heating element. It matches electrically by changing the voltage with a power stage, with a high frequency switched power stage. That's something which is similar built in an inverter, by the way. So that's the similarity from the technical point of view to match the maximum power point of the solar array to the load, in this case a resistive load.
Talking about solar arrays, probably the people want to know how much PV panels can be connected to THOR, and this is the third point here on this slide, and the answer is the number of PV panels is variable between 1 and 10 panels. Anyone familiar with our previous DC solution ELVA probably knows that 4 to 8 panels can be connected in serial to the ELVA. Now the bandwidth of this possible panel configuration is much wider, which also offers new application possibilities. At least with this flexibility, it would be possible, for example, to use 1 or 2 panels on a balcony, for example, and retrofit one of these electric boilers.
Yeah, that is quite exciting from this product, that you can. It gives the people independence. They use it only with 1 or 2 solar panels on their balcony and use solar energy for heating water. So.
And in that case, the panels are much cheaper, because a balcony power station is a special one. It's not equipped with standard panels. Here we can use standard panels, which are cheaper. Am I right?
Yes.
Exactly, and you can go down to very low input voltage, which makes it easier from the safety point of view. If we can go down to 30 volts, this is basically a single panel in series, so you are in the range of the so-called safety extra low voltage level, that you have no risk of, even if you would touch the DC wires, you wouldn't be harmed in some form.
So anyone is able to install it without having the danger or the risk of an electric shock?
Of course, you should have technical education to do this, and electrotechnical. So technically you need to be a licensed installer, because you have this AC installation as well on it. So I wouldn't recommend to do something who has no idea of what he's doing.
Right, the immersion heater needs to be connected in terminal.
From the safety point of view of the DC side, as far as wiring is concerned, and so you're in an easier, let's say, regulation than you are with high voltages.
And talking about voltages, the nominal input voltage of the THOR is between 30 and 230 volts. The input current that is possible goes up to 26 amps. And when I take a look on a contemporary data sheet of a PV panel, we see short circuit currents of 11, 12 or 13 amps. Does this mean for 26 amps we can connect 2 panel strings parallel? Yeah,
that's exactly the idea. Usually you have MPP currents of 30 amps or so of high power panels these days, and this high current rating of the THOR allows you to connect 2 panels in parallel, which means that, for example, if you still stick with this low voltage 30, 40 volts, you have 2 panels in parallel, you're still at low voltage, you're at 26 amps, have almost 1 kilowatt of heating power.
And when you assemble both panels in the same orientation, it also works perfectly with the one MPP tracker that is integrated.
Absolutely, you just should be aware of that you have the same string length for both.
Okay. Yeah, that's always required, but we know this already from PV inverters as well. Okay. Next unique feature is the protection class of THOR. It's IP54. Gerhard, can you explain the meaning of these 2 digits to us, please?
There are 2 numbers in this rating. First number is around the size of objects that could intrude the product, not depending of what it is. So it's also valid for a vacuum cleaner, for example. These are very standard ratings for electrical equipment. The second figure is how it's protected against water intrusion. And IP45 is usually 54, sorry, is usually the rating for units that are able to be installed outdoors.
It can be installed outside of a building.
Exactly.
Okay, on the facade, for example, or wherever.
Yeah.
Okay, but this is again one more feature that can be used for new markets, because in Europe it's quite common to install the devices inside the building, but in other parts of the world, this is a feature that needs to be available, right?
Yeah, absolutely. As we mentioned before, the THOR open new markets, new possibilities for the clients. It could be installed outside because of this IP54 protection, and yeah, in the harsh areas, like also in mountains, and this is for people, for clients, really a big advantage.
Okay, so off-grid mountain shelters,
Exactly.
or some cottages in the desert or wherever. These are new ways to apply hot water there. All right, these have been the four main specifications, the four main advantages, but the list is much longer, and there is a number of them on this slide. We see here as the first advantage on this overview list, no grid operator approval required. This means no authorization from the grid operator, Alice.
Yeah, it's simply, yeah, you don't need, because it's off-grid product, you don't need any approval, official approval.
Okay, and when I'm not living off-grid, let's say I'm living in a normal household, I'm on the grid and I'm installing THOR there, I do not even a grid operator permission then?
Yes.
Because the PV side is never connected to the
There's no interconnection between the PV side and the grid side.
Okay, makes it very easy for the administration part of new installations. Okay, next point, stratification charging possible with two heating elements. We are going to explain this in many more details in one of the upcoming webinars, but I want to explain it with a few words. Basically, you can connect two immersion heater elements to one THOR. And THOR is going to use both of them, but one after the other. For example, you have a huge storage tank. I'm thinking about 800-liter tanks or something. One element would be installed in the middle, and THOR is linearly adjusting the power output there. The advantage is that this heating element reaches the target temperature much earlier, and once this heating is finished, THOR switches over and supplies the heater at the bottom linearly. So two heaters, but one after the other, can be used with THOR. And in the webinars, we also are showing schematics where we are going into more detail here. Okay, optional hot water backup. Gerhard, this reminds me of all the other products at MyPV. Every product has this optional backup. What is it and why is it optional?
Yeah, you don't need to connect it, you can do it. So it means that you can connect the THOR to AC. Again, there is no electrical connection between the DC side and the AC side of the product. But if the sun was not sufficient for heating your water properly, the unit can be adjusted that it automatically backup heats the water from the mains.
Okay, but the factory preset is that this function is deactivated.
It's deactivated, and it's, let's say, the standard intention is that it's just connected to PV instead of AC.
And practically speaking, the immersion heater that is supplied by the THOR can be in the same tank that is also heated by other heat sources. I'm saying conventional heat sources, heat pumps, biomass boilers, district heating.
That's a typical application that we also recommended for the ELVA. By the way, it's a long-term application that we used this product for, is that you have a standard heating system which also provides the hot water during winter periods where you need the heating, but in summer periods where you can disconnect or switch off the heating system at all, and you don't even need it for providing hot water. You just need some additional electric power from the grid.
Just for a few kilowatt hours.
That's for these not sunny days that you see in summertime. or in the time, it's also sometimes the case that you probably then need an additional backup.
But actually, it's the decision of the owner of the system if he wants to use this optional boost mode.
As you like. And from the grid point of view, this is then simply considered to be a standard load. That's why a grid operator is not interfered with this.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
But this gives you the chance, let's say, to save the lifespan of your conventional heating system. This start-stops in the summertime, they are also harmful somehow for conventional heating.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially, for example, with biomass heaters that need to start on, and for farmers, for example, which have these units installed, and they just run it in summer period for creating hot water. You have this start action, which definitely limits the lifetime of the system. And so you get an additional benefit of not switching it on, and it's environmentally friendly and so on.
And during wintertime, you can deactivate this optional boost mode, use your conventional heating system, which does the heating anyway, and probably also cheaper when you compare the prices for your conventional heating and the grid power prices.
Yeah, as PV power is cheap, I think this is something which you can optimize then easily.
Good. The next advantage here is easy operation thanks to the display. Our customers have appreciated the proven color touch display since 2017 already, where we used it for the first time on a product named THOR. Then it was also included in the THOR 9S, and recently we also had included it in the AC Alba 2 that was announced 1.5 years ago. Now it's also part of THOR, because it's something that is really useful and intuitive, especially during the commissioning of the products. It gives you a direct interface when you are on site and you're doing the installation. It is many times easier than without a display nowadays. All right, maintenance free due to cables instead of pipes. Alice, maintenance free due to cables instead of pipes. This guiding principle has been part of our philosophy for many years. Does it still apply in the future?
Yes, of course. The advantage is that it's more affordable than conventional ways of heating, and the installation is simply. You use renewable, clear energy, and the maintenance is it's free of maintenance.
Yeah, so this directly interacts with the next point here, more affordable than conventional water heating by the use of less materials, by limiting the efforts for the installation. It's maintenance free, so in direct comparison with solar thermal, there is no anti-freezing liquid, for example, that needs to be maintained once a year. And of course, above all that, we use a clean and inexhaustible energy source for heating, and that's why it can compete with conventional heating systems. Last but not least, there is a point named communication. We already mentioned several times that it's an autonomous solution, it's an off-grid solution, it's a standalone solution. Why is there a need for communication, or is it optional as the boost backup mode?
You can use it, you are forced to do it, of course. Basically, the THOR uses the well-known MyPV Cloud as the service. There will be the same front end for you available to adjust the product, to set up the product, also to switch on and off the product remotely, or to check the temperatures if you have installed it in some remote location, which you visit on the weekend. You probably are interested whether you have your hot water or not, or you switch it off during the working days and you switch it on Friday when you're going to go there.
But if I understand correctly, integrating the THOR into our MyPV Cloud is a free option. It's a feature. It's a nice to have, an add-on, or however you would call it.
It's a free of charge add-on. That's it. Yeah.
It's definitely not required to run a THOR or to install a THOR.
No, you can do it on the display, as we say. Okay. You don't need to use it, but it's an option which makes it controllable and the data acquisition from remote. That's the idea.
So offers more information, more flexibility for the operator and for the installer, who's able to overview.
Check for his customer, for example, whether the thing runs properly or not.
Cool, great, thanks. Next slide gives the list of advantages over solar thermal systems. And we had
I need to smile because the list never changed.
Yeah, we had a serious discussion in advance whether we need this slide at all or not, because it's clear for many years already that the race is over and solar electric heating outrun this old-fashioned solar thermal systems. In direct comparison, the list of technical advantages is much longer than this one. It's just a short excerpt of the 5 most important ones. When a technology actually becomes simpler and above that also cheaper, then it's clear that we are facing a paradigm shift, and this was already the case a few years ago. Solar thermal still has its diehard fans. This form of hobby is perfectly fine to us because the market race is simply over, and it had a very clear result many years ago. All right, just to be complete, this is part of our presentation. What else do you want to know? Alice, maybe the listeners are interested in the availability, in the price, or the time schedule when they can order a Soltor if they are interested.
Yeah. So they can order in any time, and the Soltor will be available from the first trimester in 2025, and the price is same as AC Elva 2 for the end clients without tax. Yeah.
Which is 693 euros,
yes,
excluding tax.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Then there are the appointments here on this slide regarding the mentioned webinars. We have scheduled 2 sessions in German and 1 in English. The English session is on July the 3rd at 4 p.m. Central European Standard Time. And I'm very much looking forward to see you in the webinar as well. You are, of course, invited from my side now, and I'm looking forward to the session. And as I mentioned, there we are going to present much more details, also with technical schematics, because there's simply not enough time in this launch event here. Yeah, at the bottom of this slide, there are the links. The English one directly leads to our schedule on the website, where you can find the registration link for the webinar. All right. In the next part of our presentation, we are going to see a short video clip of Soltor, and it gives you an idea of one possible off-grid installation. We take you up into the Austrian Alps on a typical mountain shelter as we have it here in Central Europe, and in that way enjoy the video.
The THOR is a DC power manager for solar electric heat generation. Thanks to its autonomous functionality, the THOR does not require a connection to the power grid, as the device is self-supplied by the PV generator. The THOR also scores points for its simple installation. The photovoltaic direct current power manager is simply hung in the supplied wall mount, while the heating element is installed separately in the heat storage tank. This means that existing heating rods in heat storage tanks can be controlled with THOR. With a control power of 0 to 3.6 kilowatts, the THOR now delivers even more power for your heat generation. Solar power is efficiently utilized by being transferred almost loss-free from your photovoltaic modules to a connected heating element. In addition, 2 heating rods can be alternately controlled. The THOR can be flexibly used with a variable number of modules between 1 and 10. This broad scalability allows adjusting the THOR's performance to the specific requirements of your heat demand. Additionally, 2 module strings can be connected in parallel, allowing for a total input current of up to 26 amps. The input voltage range extends from 20 to 230 volts. The waterproof construction of the THOR withstands any weather conditions, making outdoor installation possible. Even the display is designed for outdoor use. The Color Touch display offers an intuitive user interface through which all important functions can be read. The commissioning and operation of the device are therefore remarkably simple and intuitive. For more information, please visit our website.
Empowering the solar future.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, after this very special concert of our colleague Markus, there is time to deal with your chat questions. The first one came from Derek in Ireland, and his question is actually about THOR. I guess he meant a THOR actually. And it's the question if the product is recommended in apartments. Gerhard, can you handle this question, please?
Yeah, I think that's exactly one of the applications where it's dedicated for, because if you have an electric boiler in this apartment, that's of course the basic requirement. We're talking about electric hot water. These boilers can be connected to the THOR, which can be mounted either in the apartment itself, or it could be also mounted somewhere out there, outside, or on the roof, for example, or under the shelter of the roof. So the answer is definitely yes, it's a perfect application for this product.
Thanks a lot, Gerhard. Alice, the next question is for you regarding sales. Which distribution channels do you have?
Yes, so of course it depends from where the client is. We have developed our distribution channels. Now we are, as I said, at the moment to develop the international market, but all our distributors are on our website, so you can check it, and if you are from the faraway countries, you easily can contact us, and we will give you the best solution where you can buy our products.
So please get in touch with Alice, and she will handle the request. Then I think there's a question for me. Will there be a dimensioning tool for THOR? Maybe you already know the dimensioning tool for ELVA. It's nothing more than an Excel sheet that helps you to figure out whether your planned PV panel string works with ELVA or not. Something like that will also be available, of course, for THOR, and usually it's just entering 5 details from the PV panel data sheet, data like MPP voltage or things like that. And then you just choose the number of panels that you want to connect in serial or in parallel, and you get a green or a red light whether the configuration works with THOR. And of course this will be available when the product is on the market.
Yeah, and I think we will also integrate it in the power coach, where all other products can be, let's say, basically dimensioned, not in the detail as you said right now, not on the voltage and panel level, but on the general energy, annual energy level.
Just to describe, the Power Coach is a free online calculator, which is right now on the website, and it can be used to dimension your MyPV systems. Yeah, and there will be an update with THOR as well. Gerd, next question, is there still scaling on the heating elements inside the boiler? I guess this question is regarding calcification. How is it?
Yeah, this is a well-known issue of electric heating elements, highly depending on the quality of the ingredients, I would say, of the water. If there is high calcification risk and you go up with the temperature, so the second parameter which influences this is the setup of the maximum temperature that you are going to reach with the heating element. So these are the 2 influential factors. One answer is if you consider that the THOR itself regulates the power. The heating element in most cases doesn't run at the maximum power of the element itself, but according to the power that the PV array does supply. So if you take into account that calcification is related to the temperature of the element and the temperature of the water, you will have many situations where the heating element itself runs on the lower temperature, which reduces the risk of calcification.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Can it also be used for swimming pools? So actually, indeed, yes, because you can use a standard ohmic load, a resistive load, and also for instantaneous water heaters, as they are used in swimming pools, it should actually be possible, Gerd.
Yeah, it's absolutely possible, and you can use dedicated elements. You know that it's sometimes titanium coated because you have this high chloride
or salt,
or salt inside the pool water. So standard heating elements with stainless steel are not recommended for being used in pool water. So was limited our ELVA, to be honest.
Yes.
And here you don't have this limitation because you can buy heating elements in the pool shops, which are dedicated for being used in pool water quality, and that's the perfect solution.
Then there was a hint of a participant regarding the internet connection. It was not very stable on his end. We are sorry for this, but we are recording the event, of course. And in the next few days, there will be also a video online on our YouTube channel. So where there will be, of course, the chance to see the event of today once again. All right. On the next slide, there is the word giveaways. We had a competition announced in advance, and there will be 2 lucky winners of our participants today. These winners will be chosen randomly, of course, and they will be notified in the next few days. These 2 winners will be one of the first persons who will receive THOR once the product is available in the first trimester of 2025. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we are already at the end of our today's presentation. The schedule for the webinar appointment is now online or on our website, and you are very welcome to register for the English-speaking webinar. I'm looking forward to see you there together with Elise. And sorry?
No, I wanted to also invite all the clients to our business show exhibition and Intersolar next week, and also the week after for the people from England and Ireland at the business show in Birmingham. So you are welcome to come visit us and to see our new product for the first time lively.
Yeah. So first chance to see it live is the Intersolar in Munich. We will be on the booth of one of our compatible partners. It is in Hall B3 and the stand number is 130. All right, what is also online now, free for download, is of course the data sheet of THOR, and the product page is now also online. Yeah, is there anything else you want to say to our guests? Gerd, some final words from your side, or Alice?
Of course, thank you for attending this event, and I will be really happy to see you at Munich and any other occasion. Thank you.
Yeah, also from my side, a very big thank you for listening and watching our session. I also have to say thank you to the team behind, which you didn't see, from the technical side, light and audio and video and so on, and also the marketing team inside of our company, which did a great job for preparing this event. Thank you very much again for being with us.
Thank you, Gerd and Alice, for your time. But first of all, thank you for your time, ladies and gentlemen. Wherever you are, stay safe. We are looking forward to empower the solar future with you together by creating hot water from photovoltaics. Thank you very much for participating today, and all the best from our side, from Upper Austria. Have a good day. Goodbye.
the solar future.